Well, you know what? While we're talking about it, um, let's talk about pretending. I don't know if you've all heard this story or not, but I'm sure you've heard of the Moms for Liberty. Well, the Moms for Liberty is this right wing outfit who are trying to ban books and trying to change curriculums and keep certain topics out of the school system, and they're trying to bring, I guess they're trying to bring Jesus back into the school system, and they're trying to protect the children from all the different things that children need to be protected from when it comes to math and science and English and history. And they do all kinds of other things as well, I'm sure. Anyhow, one of the co-founders of the Moms for Liberty, her name is Bridget Ziegler. And she's also on the Sarasota County School Board. Now, the Sarasota County School Board is very, very Republican. Very Republican. There's only one Democrat on the school board. And the Sarasota County School Board recently voted to ask her, so it's a non-binding resolution, but they voted on a resolution to really encourage her, Miss Ziegler, to resign from the board. See, Miss Ziegler, apart from Moms for Liberty and all the things that they're trying to do there, that they're also, that whole crowd's also very big on well, they're very anti-LGBTQ plus. They're very anti-LGBTQ plus. They're vehemently opposed to an LGBTQ plus lifestyle. And so, they talk about the morality, they talk about the immorality of it, the debauchery of it, they talk about the sinful nature of it all. They have some very, very, very strong opinions on that kind of life, on that topic, on that community. Well, Miss Ziegler's husband, Christian Ziegler, who I think he's the head of the Republican Party in Florida, he was recently charged with sexual assault. I'm not sure if he was charged with rape, but it was a form of sexual assault he was charged with. And he denied it. And when the police came and took his statement, they also took Miss Ziegler's statement. And in their statements, they said that his alleged victim, that he didn't rape her. She was a consensual partner in a three-way romantic sexual encounter. And that actually the night that this whole thing allegedly transpired, they were all supposed to get together again, but Miss Ziegler couldn't, and so he went over alone. Christian Ziegler went over alone, and that's when the assault allegedly happened. So this was not just a threesome ways back, a year ago. It was also something that was going to happen again. And this is why the Sarasota County School Board has asked her to submit her resignation. She said she's not going to. I think the last I heard, she wasn't going to. Now, listen, I don't care if she had a threesome. I really don't. I'm not here to judge her for doing something like that. I'm not here to foist upon her my moral understandings. I'm not here to foist upon her how I live or how I don't live or anything else. I'm here as a pastor. I'm here to be there for anybody who might come forward and say, hey, listen, I got an issue. I got a problem. I got something that I'm trying to be rid of. I've got something that's getting in the way of my life. I've got something that's getting in the way of my connection to God. That's what I'm here for. No judgment, but I'm here to help. And if, somebody came to me and said, hey, listen, I've been having threesomes every second weekend with my husband and such, and it's really causing me a lot of pain. Can you help me with that? Absolutely. But I'm still not going to judge what the person's been doing. It's not my place. And this is kind of the point of this little bit of a talk. what she's experiencing right now, right? Because remember, all but one of the Sarasota County School Board are Republicans. She is a known Republican. She is a known right-wing conservative. Her husband is well known, a leader on the right wing. And they're saying to her, you should not be here. Now, not only that, but the day they took the vote at the school board meeting, the place was filled with people who she has pointed her finger at, filled with people that she has judged, filled with people who she would claim are living according to a moral standard that she doesn't approve of. And they were all there too, and they were all telling her, you got to go. You're a hypocrite. You tell us how to live, but you're living like this. And you tell us that it's not okay for us to have, but here's what you're doing in your bedroom. So she's really facing condemnation from all sides. She's facing judgment from all sides. When all is said and done, this is a really interesting biblical story. This is a great biblical example. That's probably not the right word, but this is a great example, a life example for us. What she's encountering, she's experiencing a moment when all sides are pushing down on her, are crashing down on her. She is being shown no mercy. Like almost no one is in her corner. She's being showed so very little mercy because she's shown no mercy. The Bible tells us those who show mercy will be shown mercy. Matthew chapter 5, blessed are the merciful. They will receive mercy. They will be shown mercy. James chapter 2. It says, judgment without mercy will be shown. Judgment without mercy will be shown to those who show no mercy. Judgment without mercy will be shown to those who have not been merciful. Now, reading this, you would think, well, so if I don't show mercy, that means God's not going to show any mercy to me. Could be, but also, and this is a weird thing, because in Luke chapter 16, there's a story that, it takes a lot to wrap your brain around, and I'm not sure I've ever really wrapped my brain around it. But the thing is, it might be a matter as well. Those of us who show no mercy to the others in this world will, when our time comes, and it always comes, we will be shown no mercy by those people. Luke chapter 16, there's this story. And I think the common name of this story is the dishonest servant or something like that. There's this servant. He's been stealing from his master. And his master, he finds out. All right, he wants, we're going to have a talk. And the servant's freaking out. He knows, okay, I've been stealing from this guy for forever and a day. And I got nothing, right? I got nothing. He's going to punish me. He's going to throw me out. I'm going to starve to death. My family's going to starve. I got to do something about this. And so he goes out to all the clients of his master. Goes out to all these people that owe his master money. And he says, hey, how much do you owe my master? And they say, well, I owe him, 100 bags of gold. All right. I want you to cross out your debt and put your debt down as 50. And he goes to another guy. Hey, how much do you owe my master? Well, I owe him like 50 jars of olive oil. Okay, you're gonna scratch that out, and now you only owe him 25. And he does this repeatedly. Now Jesus, in telling this story, it's strange. The guy goes back to his master, and the master praises him for this behavior. He's like, oh well, congrats, good job on. You've been shrewd. And Jesus doesn't say this guy's a dishonest schmuck. He doesn't say this guy's horrible. He actually says something along the lines like, this guy was really smart and clever. And I've applied that scripture to Miss Ziegler's situation. See, this guy, when he knew he was in trouble, he went out and he made friends. Right? This guy, when he knew the gig was up, right? It was all going to come collapsing around him. He went out and made sure that he had friends. He had a safe place to land. so that if the master was going to throw him out into the world, one of these guys would pick him up. Now, the metaphor falls apart. The parable falls apart, of course. I'm not going to hire somebody that I know is going to steal from me and all that. But it's just the sense of, God, we need friends, right? We can't. We in Miss Ziegler's situation, she got on board with a very, very judgmental group. And she got behind them. And she led them. And she made a lot of people's lives miserable. Now, that group that she led, that group that she was on side with, when they find this stuff out about her, they turn on her too, right? They will eat their own. There's no mercy from them because they don't show mercy to anybody else. If you live according to a different standard, they have a problem with you. And she would have known that, right? She would have been all for that. These people all believe the way I do, and we're going to point our fingers, and we're going to make names for ourselves, and we're going to take power, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, wait, my threesomes got found out about. They turn on her. In the same breath, all those people she was pointing at, all those people she was calling names, all those people who she was claiming were degenerate and debauched, all those people that she was saying were immoral, all those families, all those children. She's burnt those bridges, right? They're not going to come to her aid. They're not going to show her mercy. There's a lesson in this for us, right? Be merciful. Being merciful is much better than being judgmental. Being merciful is much better than going out and pointing our fingers at people. Being merciful is much better than going out and condemning anybody and everybody who happens to be different than ourselves. We can learn from what Miss Ziegler's going through here. Mercy is a much better path forward. It's a much safer path forward. It's a much more life-giving path forward. And it's the one ultimately that God tells us to walk, probably because of situations like this. If you find yourself, no pun intended, but if you find yourself in bed with really judgmental people, they will one day turn their gaze to you. They have a tendency. Judgmental people who live by the code of condemnation, they have a tendency to eat their own. So let's be people of mercy. Even when it's so difficult, even when, and again, in a situation like this, even when the person does not deserve the mercy, let's at least try to be people who grant it. Amen.